Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long Race to the CME Globe. On Paradise Island in the Bahamas, final round coverage of the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. The Atlantis Resort and Casino, our host this week. Second go-round for the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. Much to do here on Paradise Island. If you make your way down to the eastern tip, past all the fishing vessels and watercraft, the beaches, the Dolphin Cay experience at Atlantis, you'll find the Ocean Club Golf Course, which dates back to 1958, renovated by Tom Weiskopf in 2000. Much different golf course this time around. Back in May, of course, the story here was the torrential rains. Only 12 holes were playable. They played 36 over the course of 3 days. This week, it has been Chamber of Commerce stuff. Whit Watson, Kay Cockrell, early highlights. Lizette Salas for birdie at 3.
Her putter has been hot the last couple of days. Important to get off to a good start, feeling that ball go into the hole with your putter early.
Salas playing in the final group today in the final round. Stacy Lewis, she's been here before. This is her second at 8.
And she's already made 5 birdies to this point. So good with the wedges. And she dials that one into gimme range.
6 birdies in her opening 8 holes. Stacy Lewis racing up the leaderboard. But then Salas, moments later, same hole for birdie.
This seems to be her range, anywhere from 15 to 20 feet.
Birdie there for Salas. Was her 4th in her first 8 holes. Jessica Korda also contending.
Also getting off to a good start with 3 birdies so far. Dialing in a short iron, taking on that tough hole location.
Korda goes out in 32. 4 birdies, no bogeys on the card through her opening 9. Then at 10, this for 3 birdies in a row.
A little streaky with the putter yesterday, but obviously she's got it going today. Feeling it, seeing the line.
Still hasn't dropped a shot. 5 under on her round today. We go to Stacy Lewis at 11, the par 5.
3 par 5s on this back 9. And again, just solid with the wedges, and that's what it's going to come down today. Who hits those short irons in the closest?
Na Yeon Choi also putting her name up top. This was for birdie at 10.
And not quite as dramatic a start as her fellow competitors, but she had the lead.
Take a look at our leaderboard. It is crowded. 4-way logjam atop the leaderboard. 17 under for Lewis, Korda, Salas, and Na Yeon Choi. Pornanong Phatlum and Tadapa Sawanapura, a couple of players from Thailand, both at 15 under par. There's Paula Creamer. She's 1 under today. Morgan Pressel making a run. She's 6 under on her round, now just 4 off. Michelle Wee, 2 under on her round. She is at -12. Gorgeous day in Paradise. Glad you're with us for our Golf Channel final round coverage with Watson, Kay Cockrell, and Tom Abbott, with Jerry Foltz, Phil Parkin, and Karen Stupples on the golf course at the Ocean Club. 2-11 for Na Yeon Choi.
Just to get to 18 under par and take the outright lead.
Going.
Oh, just needed a fraction more pace.
Might not have hit that in exactly the right sweet spot because it looked like it just bobbled ever so slightly.
Stacy Lewis with her second shot to the very picturesque 13th hole.
Just 128 yards into this breeze, and that's a solid 9-iron. Good looking shot.
Good shot.
So birdie chance coming up for Stacy Lewis as she bids to get to 18 under par. What is going to be the number that wins this golf tournament? You got to think it's going to be in the low 20s, as we talked about a little earlier on Golf Central. Back to the 11th. Lizette Salas for a par. We saw her go long with the 3rd shot just over the back of the green, and that is a big mistake for Lizette Salas.
And that's 2 bogeys in her last 3 holes, which is unusual.
So let's meet the final 2 groups here on Sunday.
Hi, I'm Jessica Korda. I'm from Bradenton, Florida. And I have 1 LPGA Tour win.
Hi, I'm Paula Creamer, and I'm from Pleasanton, California, and I have 9 career LPGA wins. Hi, I'm Lizette Salas from Azusa, California, and I'm a former USC Trojan. Fight on.
Hi, I'm Nayeon Choi. I'm from South Korea. I have 7 wins on LPGA Tour so far.
Will Nayeon Choi be able to make it an 8th victory here? Folks heading out into the Caribbean. We see, what, 4 or 5 cruise ships a day in the port of Nassau that come in and out. And on the green at the 13th hole, Stacy Lewis trying to get to 18 under.
Generally hits these fairly firm.
That looked like a good stroke, Phil.
Maybe a misread. I read that sort of right centre for her.
That was just a moment ago. So now the green is clear, and Jessica Korda, you know what happened with this shot yesterday? She shanked it right out of bounds.
No. Surprised there was any worry there that she went left after that one yesterday.
Gotta be playing on her mind.
Karen, it's so funny how a memory like that will just infiltrate, and it's hard to shake it.
It really does make it very difficult indeed.
I would have bet the mortgage that was going to go left. There was no way it was going to go right. I mean, not after what happened yesterday. Korda still tied for the lead at 17 under par. Still to come, hear what the players have to say about the new Race to the CME Globe. Season-long points race with a $1 million payout. Later today, we will crown our first champion. Someone will take the early points lead for that CME Race to the Globe.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny Johnson, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The islands of the Bahamas have been an inviting paradise for travelers since 1492, when Christopher Columbus stumbled across the island of San Salvador, and the native Bahamians then warmly greeted him and his crew. Our tradition of hospitality has been carried on ever since, and now the people of our islands are proud to be gracious hosts. The pure silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. We are delighted to share our home with you. Here you will find the world's most gorgeous beaches, temperate climate, exotic cuisine on the world's greatest culture. We are proud to share our world with you. We look forward to greeting you in these beautiful islands, the islands of the Bahamas, so that you would have the opportunity to see why we always say it's better in the Bahamas. Enjoy the tournament.
Well, many thanks to the Honourable Dr. Johnson and his team from the Bahamas government there who worked so hard on this event. Also Jeff Radel and Robbie Lemming, tournament director and the general manager of the Ocean Club. Really happy that they've had a year where the weather has been exactly how it should have been, and we can see this place in its full glory. Out to the 12th, and Nyan Choi is to get to 18 under and take the outright lead.
And sliding right the whole way, but not enough.
You could hear her, Jerry, asking for it to sit down. She's giving us a bit of work to do for the 3. Lydia Ko at the 15th hole. This is for a birdie. She rolls that one in, and Lydia moves to 14 under, 4 under for the day. Currently in a tie for 7th. 14th hole, Stacy Lewis.
That was just a gentle 9-iron. Pretty good one too, eh?
Oh, right on line again, Phil. She's hit a couple of great iron shots in this final round. And that should be an easy birdie for Stacy Lewis. Now, Jessica Korda for a par at the 13th.
Quite a disappointing bunker shot there. She had a great lie in it, and just turned it over with her right hand, and it just released on the green to that.
But it all comes down to that second shot. Back over to 12. Lizette Salas trying to save par.
Yeah, missed the green in the right bunker, played it to here.
It's all kind of falling apart here, Jerry.
Rapidly as well.
3 bogeys in 4 holes for Lizette Salas, who had started so well, birdied the 2nd and 3rd hole of the day to take the outright lead and looked comfortable, a couple of shots ahead at the time. But now she needs to dig deep, because she finds herself 2 behind, but likely to be 3 behind shortly when Stacy Lewis taps in that birdie putt. Jessica Korda now isn't in yet for bogey, Karen.
Yeah, she still left herself a little bit of work. She's been working on it though. She's taking her time. Doesn't want to drop 2 here.
So just the 1 shot goes for Jessica Korda. It was a double bogey yesterday, a bogey today. The 13th hole has been very costly for Jessica Korda. It's in the past now. She can move on. 5 holes to play. Stacy Lewis quickly tapping in at the 14th hole, so that's the birdie that gets Stacy to 18 under par, and she takes a 1-shot lead. Great relationship between Stacy and Travis Wilson, who's been a long-time caddy, her only professional caddy. Back at 12, Nyan Choi for the par. So Nyan Choi remains 1 back. Plenty happening in the final round here. What an exciting start to the season at the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. Stacy Lewis out in front. Nyan Choi trying to win for the first time in over 12 months. A lot going on, a lot to talk about. Let's head up to the balcony now at the Flowers House and join Whit and Kay.
Tom, thank you very much. Well, a putting contest apparently breaking out here late as the conditions have been ideal on Sunday. Stacy Lewis bidding to take a huge jump in the race to the CME Globe here, the first event of 2014. Nyan Choi has said this week, Kay, that she's got a lot to play for as well. She did not win last year, which is significant only in that in her 7-year career on the LPGA Tour, she had never gone an entire season without a victory. So there are some storylines to follow on top of this leaderboard.
And she had to watch good friend MB Park have such a dominant year. I'm sure that's motivation for her to try to catch her friend MB Park. But it really doesn't surprise me, Whit, that the 2 players with the most wins, the most success are at the top of the board right now. Stacy Lewis and Nyan Choi have 15 wins between them. Jessica Korda trying to win for the second time, Lizette trying to win for the first time, are slipping backwards.
And that was my next question. Those two players have the most to gain with a victory here this week. Do you expect, knowing what you know about their games and about their mental approach, that they can bounce back this afternoon?
It's going to take a lot. With such a tight race and everybody playing so well and so aggressively, it was a matter of who makes the mistakes and who does just a little bit better. Lizette may have taken herself out of it with those 3 bogeys and 4 holes. I think Jessica Korda still has a chance, a couple par 5s coming up that she can take advantage of, but Lizette, maybe she just is going to have to wait for one more tournament to get that first win.
We go out to 16. Michelle Wee, this is to get to 13 under.
Long-range effort from Michelle Wee. Steady on. The 16th hole has been playing as the most difficult hole on the golf course. The flag today cut over on the left side of the green. You can see the water very much coming into play. That's a lake between the 15th and the 16th holes. Down on the tee at the 14th hole is Jessica Korda.
She's been driving it incredibly well so far today. Hits it very long. And another good one.
Also a player that hits the ball very high. We have had some pretty breezy conditions at times during the week, but today it is just perfect. I'm not sure there's anywhere else you would want to be in the world than here on Paradise Island with those beautiful beaches. Those folks are heading out into the Caribbean. What are they doing? They want to be staying here. We'll be back in just a moment.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Pure Silk Shave Cream for Women, for legs like pure silk. And by the new Titleist AP Irons, advanced performance for your game.
Back at the 13th hole, Nyan Choi, 1 shot back. This has second shot.
On this picturesque hole from 145 with 7 iron. It's a pretty shot, but it can be wrought with danger if you don't hit a good one. This turning a little left.
Right there.
A little left and a little long.
15th tee, Stacy Lewis.
And she has the power to get there in 2. I don't think she caught all of that one, going towards those bunkers.
Surprisingly, Phil, she hasn't played this hole very well. She's made a bogey and 2 pars.
will go up one to the par 4 16th hole.
Michelle Wie, work to do for her par. Michelle Wie looking at her first 3-putt of the event as we go to 14. Creamer first.
Paula Creamer is 50 yards behind where Jessica Korda hit her drive, and it is such an advantage for Jessica here to be this close to this green.
Especially on a dog leg, Karen, where Korda can cut the corner a bit.
Right there. Right there.
You notice the pink flag sticks here at the Ocean Club. You may also have noticed that Korda and Creamer are both similarly attired in pink. That was not intentional. They do have the same clothing sponsor, but they realized, Kay, that they had gotten to the end of the week and they only had one clean shirt left, and it happened to be the same one.
It's pink.
31.
It's 21 to carry.
Mm-hmm.
Can you come down his slope? So you can take a little bit.
All set. Like straight at it.
I told Korda, I said, you realize Paula kind of has the patent on wearing pink on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
She took a deep breath there before she pulled that wedge away. She wonder if it's still on her mind.
Well, it's a good sign you're playing pretty well when your misses are within 20 feet of the flagstick.
To 13.
Third shot for Na Yeon Choi.
Blading the wedge here.
Jerry, with so many greens that she's hit, particularly in the last 2 rounds, she hasn't had to chip too much.
No, she hasn't. And I think it might have showed right there. That, I guess that pass palm fringe is pretty slow. That was extremely poorly judged.
I like that idea, using that technique, but she just didn't hit it hard enough.
There are over 700 islands, islets, and keys that make up the Bahamas. The capital city of Nassau is on the island of New Providence. That island there houses 70% of the nation's population. Paradise Island, just to the northeast corner, rather. The Golf Course Superintendents Association of America brings us the course setup here at the Ocean Club. Seashore Paspalum, as Jerry points out, very common. It's a salt-resistant strain of grass. You'll find it a lot on oceanfront golf courses. Bermuda on the greens, 10.5 on the stimp. Tom Weitzkopf came in and did a redo in 2000. Jeff Hood and his staff, very gracious host. They do a great job with the golf course every year. We go back out to 13.
Lizette Salas with the birdie putt on the way.
Should be dying a little left. Had perfect line if it just had a little more speed.
Could have done with going in for Lizette Salas. That would have put her right back in it. She's currently 3 behind. She must have thought she had it. There you go.
Surprised that she's let 3 shots slip away. The only thing I could think is perhaps she's just a little exhausted after fighting the flu.
Sandra Gal for a birdie. 17th hole, and Sandra Gal is now 7 under par for the round.
Saw her at Nobu last night having a nice meal with her parents. She must have eaten something lucky.
Back over at the 13th hole, Na Yeon Choi has this for a par. Jerry, she didn't hit a chip shot all of round 2, all of round 3, and she's only missed 3 greens today. So, as Kay was saying, she probably hasn't had a lot of practice chipping the ball.
Well, she's quite good at it normally. Tough putt here, sliding right for par. Hasn't made a bogey by my count since her 8th hole on Friday's round. Some 38 holes now. It was 40 consecutive holes, excuse me. Now that streak comes to an end.
Well, bad timing to get your first bogey on the back 9 on Championship Sunday.
Stacy Lewis has a 2-shot lead. Well, she wasn't able to get to the green in 2 at the 15th. This is her 3rd shot now.
Leaving herself 100 yards, try and get some spin. Hole positions at the very front of the green.
Just 5 paces on, Phil. And that's a good solid shot. She could afford to go a little bit past the hole.
Get back 1 to 14.
This was a moment ago. Creamer for her birdie at 14.
She's really started to play well on this backside, really picking up the pace after that double bogey on 9.
And now live, Korda trying to match.
They did this all on day 2. They backed each other up right, left and centre, and here she's again hoping to follow Paula in here. She's left herself in a really good position. No more than about 8 foot.
I wonder if she never lined that up right, or if she just opened up that club face a little on the way back.
Couldn't get the bounce back after the bogey at 13, but Korda is only 2 shots off the pace. Stacy Lewis bidding for her 9th official victory on the LPGA Tour and the first of 2014.
Back at the 15th hole with Stacy Lewis, who has this for a birdie to take a 3-shot lead.
Let's see if it pays off. She left herself a long way back to try and get spin. Downhill, not much movement.
Oh, good roll. Oh. Wow, I think she did just about everything right except the ball not going in the hole. That would have been for her 9th birdie.
Lewis remains at 18 under par. There's still a par 5 to come, but a couple of tricky holes coming up, 16th and the 17th. Back on the tee at number 15, this is Jessica Korda.
Jessica coming up here. Huge. She hits it so far. She has a real opportunity to get here in two.
Got to avoid that bunker, Karen.
I love the rhythm of her swing. She just gets such great gradual acceleration. Let's take a good look. And she has such good lines. You can see her feet, hips, shoulders are parallel. And really great extension. She has long arms. She's tall. She's probably swinging about 80% there in terms of her wind-up. Club coming a little bit short of parallel, but she just lets gravity take that club down and through.
Michelle Wee at the 17th hole. She wasn't going to come this week. She was going to start her season in Thailand, but when the race for the CME Globe was announced, she thought, well, at that event, came down here on her own with just her agent, not her parents. And it's been a pretty good week for Michelle Wee. I think she'll take some confidence from this weekend.
Go left for the rake.
Perfect.
Salas at 14.
128 to the front of the green, in line with the flagstick. 137 hole. Little downhill lie, little breeze helping.
Jerry, what have you seen out of her in the last hour or so that would lead to these bogeys?
Just errant shots like that. That's well wide of the target, and a target she was taking dead aim at.
Now, later this year, the International Crown in July at Caves Valley Golf Club in Maryland. This is the U.S. team standings coming in. Lewis, Thompson, Kerr, and Creamer. So players like Salas and Korda, who are contending today, quite a bit to play for. Back to 14, Choi, her second.
129 with the wedge off the downhill line, coming in low, decent line.
Worked really hard in the offseason on her body, strengthening, and her balance in particular. Felt like her balance was real inconsistent last year.
Na-Yeon Choi, winless in 2013. She told us that provides some motivation this week. She's 2 back.
Like the legend of the phoenix, all ends with beginnings.
Tom's got decent rhythm for an Englishman.
Oh my word, where did that come from? What do you mean an Englishman? You think we can't dance?
White man's overbite.
Kay has the gift of eternal youth. 15th hole, Jessica Korda, can she get here in 2?
It'll take a mighty blow here, Tom, for her to get there. She's got it's 260 odd plus to the front of this green.
Oh yeah, it'd be a really big hit, wouldn't it?
And with that hole located up front, Karen, it may not be the easiest little shot, that little 25, 30-yard pitch shot.
She's really faced with a decision here on this hole, whether to land short of the bunker or go over it.
Now back at the 14th, Na-Yeon Choi, just 1 under on her round. She has a couple of birdies, made a bogey back at 13, unable to get a whole lot going today.
It's been pretty steady, tee to green. Not as good as what yesterday was, certainly, or Friday.
But as we see so often in this game, Jerry, it's just so hard to sustain it and keep those 5, 6, 7 under rounds going one after another.
She's about as solid all around as you're going to find. There's really no weakness in her game. Now the trick is here on a putt that's a little downhill, whether she can keep up the speed. But she's kind of been limping them a little toward the hole. The last few holes, Lizette Salas ran her birdie putt well past from the back left fringe and has a tough par save upcoming. This one pretty straight by my read. Could actually go a little left.
I like that read, Jerry. And she nailed it. Yeah, that's a good bounce back. Never count this one out. She just stays so calm and confident even when she makes a bogey.
Now within 1. Morgan Pressel has this for birdie at the 18th. She's 6 under today. She made herself some money on Sunday, didn't she? 7 under round.
We started the day tied for 18th.
66 at this par 73 layout, so Pressel gets to 14 under.
Great weekend of play.
Stacy Lewis at the challenging 16th. It's an intimidating looking tee shot.
Yes, especially when you got the little breeze from the left, sort of forcing you to look at the water on the right side of the fairway. So certainly going to be thinking positive thoughts when you have a driver in your hand like Stacy has right now. I think she's discussing with a caddy whether they're actually going to go ahead with that. Probably will.
Nothing easy about this hole, Phil. From the tee shot to then the second, where that hole is located today, is a doozy.
Yes, to say the least. So if you hit the fairway, it's going to make that second shot easier, even though it isn't easy.
What do you like most about Stacy's swing?
Well, you know, surprisingly, she is strong, but she's not all that tall. Hits the ball really long way for her stature. Timing's good, and I've always liked her swing. I think her arms work incredibly well with the body, which basically is what all the players are trying to do. And she started that down the right, hit it solid. It's a fantastic tee shot.
We've talked so much and documented her surgery when in 2003, 2004, when she had scoliosis and a rod put in her back. She doesn't really know how long her back will hold up. It's a question mark.
Third shot of the 15th for Jessica Korda.
She nipped that really well. That was not an easy shot.
Oh, you could say that again.
Korda will have that to get to 17 under and within 1 of the lead. Up to 18.
Crystal Bouillon was playing with Morgan Pressel, and they did a little bit of drafting off one another.
Pretty good best ball in that group.
At 18 as well, and also shoots 66. Pressel moves up into a tie for 8th. Bouillon into a tie for 4th as that group posts 66. Stacy Lewis leads by 1 as she plays the 16th. Na-Yeon Choi 1 back. Korda is 2 back. Today's coverage is brought to you by the new Win Pro X putter grips. Feel the winning difference. Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And by CME Group, how the world advances. The famed Exumas in the Bahamas, a district in this island nation filled with islands and islets, very well known for a number of things. The Bahamian iguanas that will come down to the beach as the tourists take a stop. Also, a lot of celebrities that own some of the islands down there. Back out to 15.
Jessica Korda for a birdie to get within one.
Oh, big putt. I tell you what, Jessica Korda has played these last 4 holes much better than Stacy Lewis. She's been 4 under par the first 3 days on these last 4. Stacy Lewis 1 over. That might be a telling stat, and what could happen in the next 45 minutes, hour.
Stacy Lewis at 18 under par. Korda and Choi 1 back. Paula Creamer needs to have a really good finish if she is going to win this event. How about that view? Looking out to the Atlantic Ocean, the water is just...
This one?
Yeah.
You just want to jump in it when it's that colour, don't you? Lizette Salas now with her second shot.
Stake in this bunker.
Oh, okay.
Flush with it?
Perfect.
Choice here is to club well back and leave it short of the, I guess, sort of the cross bunkers in the left center of the fairway. Pretty much a full wedge in from there, or try and skirt the narrow gap to the right of them and run it up there as close to the green as you can. And from 280, just over 280 to the front of the green, she could leave herself something in the neighborhood of 60 yards if she chose that.
She's got to make birdie here, Jerry.
Yes, she does. She looked like she was taking the safety route here.
She spoke about wanting to swing freely and not think about mechanics. Not able, perhaps, to do that as well as she has the last couple of days.
Lizette Salas in a good position, short of the bunker. Let's see what Nayeon Choi is going to do.
272 front. A little bit of an uphill lie. Not the greatest lie in the rough, and somewhat of a lip. Just not too far in front of her on that bunker. The uphill lie probably takes that out of her mind. She looks like she's aiming to the right and maybe taking the more aggressive route. That wasn't enough club to do so. She's just trying to play for an angle and leave a full spinning wedge in.
Yeah, carries 3 hybrids and just going with one of those, Jerry. Came pretty close to that cross bunker.
Quickly over to 18. Sandra Gal has this for eagle.
27 paces on is this whole location today.
Pretty good.
That is not an easy putt from the front part of the green.
She has 1 eagle on the card today. She made a 3 at the par 5 4th. Went out in 32. Has 3 more birdies on the back.
Sandra has the talent to be in contention just about every week. It's good to see her start the year off well.
To 17.
Tadapa Sawanapura at the 17th. This is for a birdie.
Second year on tour. Just 21 years old. One of 5 players from Thailand who are on the LPGA.
Finished 73rd on the money list last year. Best finish in the 2013 LPGA Tour was 8th at the Women's Australian Open.
And that's her career best, so...
So right now, Tadapa Sawanapura would qualify for the International Crown, part of the Thai team.
And I actually talked to Mrs. Jutanagarn, who was out here this week watching Moria, and she said that Arya, who has had shoulder surgery, is practicing hitting balls in Florida this week and plans to play in the Australian Open as well as Thailand.
Arya Jutanagarn took a tumble at the Wegmans LPGA Championship last year during a practice round. That was where she sustained the injury. She hasn't played since then, and she was well, she is a player to watch, that's for sure.
She has potential to be #1 in the world.
Right at it, yeah.
Stacy Lewis, a player who has achieved that #1 ranking in the Rolex rankings in the past.
You know, Kay, you said to me, what do I like about a golf swing? But I tell you what I like about her mental state is this tee shot, and she took it down that right side and completely destroyed this hole with 1 tee shot. Just 140 yards left.
She has a huge desire to be number one, and that's something you can't teach. She has a lot of heart, a lot of determination, and she's outspoken about her desire to be number one. Says if you're not comfortable talking about it, how can you get there?
Gal to close with a birdie at 18. No. That's not fair. 3-putt par from all the way across the green. Still a 66 for Sandra Gal. 6 birdies and an eagle. Back to 15.
Let's see what Na Choi has coming up here with her third shot.
A little bit of an uphill line, 91 front, 96 yards to the hole. Just one of her wedges. Lizette Salas already played a very nice shot under the hole, some 12 feet.
Little sawed-off finish there.
Okay. Nice one, man.
Really good.
And Na Choi with a birdie putt coming up. Lizette Salas also has a birdie chance at the 15th hole. They're chasing Stacy Lewis in the final round of the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. Can Na Choi get it done? Maybe it'll be Jessica Korda. But they're chasing Stacy Lewis.
On your left, from Hawaii, Michelle Wee. On your right, from Spain, Asa Nunez.
At the 16th, Stacy Lewis wasn't real happy with this approach, but she's got a chance to extend her lead.
She should be happy.
Just a driver 9-iron. It's going to break quite a bit left.
Oh. That's a wicked little hole location up on top of that small plateau.
At 16, this is Korda.
Decision time for her. Had to decide to hit driver or 3-wood. Oh, this is going left.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's such a tough driving hole, this, Kay, with the water on the right and knowing that you could run through into these trees on the left.
It is, and she might get lucky and be able to thread it through those palm trees.
15th green, and Na Choi looking at the birdie putt. As Lizette Salas missed her birdie chance there. Jerry?
She has indeed ran it just over the right lip, about 2 feet away. Should be no problem with the par, but she needed a birdie. Now Nayan a little confused on this putt. I looked at it from both sides. Not an easy one. Looks awfully straight. Could just die left at the end. That's what she's signaling to Paul Fusco, her caddy. But the early parts, the part I can't read, it actually looks like it could go a little right initially. Whatever break there is tiny.
Great look there at the Flowers house. Greg up on the balcony working very hard.
And Jerry, when you kind of have that little subtle two breaks, what it's going to do at the beginning isn't going to be that that big a deal, because the ball carries more speed at the beginning. At the end, when it's dying down, it may turn a little bit more.
Oh, never did die left.
Over to 16. Looks like Korda has a shot.
Only to the front right of the green.
Yep. That's indeed what she did.
Yeah, it was a good break there to end up where she was. It could have been anything. And I mean, Paula's got really unlucky here. Paula doesn't really have an awful lot here for her shot, so she did well.
Korda didn't have much to deal with, played the best she can, but she's got a tough 2-putt ahead of her.
Michelle Wie reaching the par 5 18th and 2. No surprise there. She'll have this for eagle.
Yeah, this is a great place to be putting from, too. Not a whole lot of break from this side. Putting back up towards the hospitality tents. And you see her flat back putting technique. She's starting to rise up a little more away from the ground. Did she get it there? Oh.
It's really been that kind of a week for Michelle Wie. She's hit the ball as well as anybody in the field, but simply could not get enough of those to drop.
I wouldn't say she putted poorly. She just didn't make enough putts on the weekend.
1 under, round of 72 for Michelle Wie. For the Record with Rex Hoggart is online at golfchannel.com/fortherecord. And for his first guest interview, he sat down with Michelle Wie. That's at golfchannel.com/fortherecord. You can check it out right now.
A great opportunity to have a nice leisurely conversation with Rex and learn a little bit more about Michelle. She's got a lot to her personality, a lot of interests off a golf course.
So she will wrap up the week at 12 under par after a 2 under round, correction, 71 on the par 73. Stacy Lewis still leads by 1. Korda and Na-Yeon Choi still trailing. Creamer, Salas, Buljan and Gal are in the clubhouse. Lydia Ko at 14 under. At the 16th, the hole they call Peninsula. Na-Yeon Choi with her tee shot.
Clubbing back to 3-wood here for safety. Oh, that's turning left. This needs to get lucky.
That's exactly the same path that Jessica Korda just took. And she may be a little close to that one palm tree.
And the backswing might be an issue there. Lydia Ko at the 18th, playing her second at the par 5.
It's a pretty darn good debut for the youngster who's playing in her first full year on the LPGA Tour.
She is in range for a top 10 finish. It's her first outing as a member of the LPGA Tour.
How many wins and top 10s do you think she'll have this year?
Oh, my goodness. We'll get back to you on that one. How many events are there this year? 32?
I think she wins twice.
When we were standing there earlier.
How many top 10s?
10.
10 out of 32?
I like that.
I might take that number.
Just taking 6?
Well, I think if we hit 6.
Or a little 5. Because it covers the front though.
Yeah.
Because it's 56 and if the wind hurts it at all, you're going to have trouble covering the front. I do too. Hoping we see it. I was hoping we could see it.
It's kind of started
65 with this.
Yeah, between her ball and the pin.
Yeah,
right there,
that's good. Because it's 73 at the, to the hole, right?
Yeah,
That's
it is.
total.
Yep. And with the whole shot, it's probably going to sit softer.
Yeah.
Right, big discussions there between a 5 and a 6 iron. I think it sounded like they're going with a 6.
Sound like that's what she was hoping for. Is yet to birdie this hole.
Sit. Down.
She's turning
Down.
it slightly with the wind going left. I think she'll take that though.
Yeah, not bad. Might be a little slippery down grain, but definitely makeable from there.
Back one to 16.
Remember, Korda had some tree trouble left side of the fairway, played out to the front right of the green. Look at what she has left.
You escaped jail off the tee shot, but not so much here with this putt. She's got 25 yards. I'm saying yards because it's so far and not feet. She paced it off. That's how far I know. I counted her steps. It's got to go up a little hill, and it's going to turn left. It's got to go. It's got to go.
Yeah, that hill really killed it, didn't it?
Sure did.
Yeah. Very difficult putt, though. I mean, when you're talking 25 yards, so hard.
You're just trying to get it in a 3-foot circle. She's probably just outside of that.
Korda just one shot off the lead, had the bogey back at 13K, then had a get back at 15 with a birdie.
And now we're down, Karen, to the crunch time with just a couple holes left. When you were in the process of winning or trying to win for the second time, what kind of things were going through your head, or how were you trying to think?
You're just trying to think one shot at a time. But once it gets down to this stage, I always knew where I was. I knew that I was in contention. I knew that I had to. All these putts. I mean, she's going to be feeling them. She's going to be feeling them in her hands. That she's going to feel pretty nervous. But she's won before, so she knows she can handle it. She knows that when she's standing over it, no matter, even if her hands are shaking, she can still control the putt ahead and she can still make this putt. That's where she's got to draw that confidence from here right now.
Korda, who has not 3-putted this week, says she does watch scoreboards. No matter where she is, she's always checking the board, so she probably knows.
Oh, good stroke. What a heck of a 2-putt at this point in time.
A 75-foot 2-putt for Jessica Korda to make par at the 16th and remain one back.
Is that the right angle? You look at, you got the right line? Yeah, you've got it.
Tag it right there. Because you're going to get a club length in there.
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour beginning a new season. The 2014 campaign begins at the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. A new date for this event, and the weather has been quite cooperative, and the leaderboard cooperative as well. Stacy Lewis, Jessica Korda, NY Choi, Paula Creamer, Lizette Salas. This is at 17 with the jet skis in the background and Stacy Lewis.
Yeah, she rolls this one in. She'll be looking really good with just one hole to play, and it is a par 5 as well. This is downhill. It will move a fraction to the right.
A bit down grain as well. No, never got that high enough.
Stacy Lewis playing with Amelia Lewis today. I think that's the first time that has happened that I can remember. Amelia is 1 under for the day, so 12 under, tied for 13th. Over to 16.
Na-Yeon Choi playing her second.
161 with the 7-iron, tree an issue on the follow-through. This needs to go.
Okay, that's fine.
Only a couple places from the hazard.
Yeah.
Stacy Lewis taps in the par at the 17th, and the two Lewises will head to the 18th tee, try and make a birdie, maybe even an eagle.
Let's go up to the 18th, and Lydia Ko, this to close with a birdie. She birdied 18 in round 1 and in round 2. She has not made a bogey today.
Such a beautifully tempoed putting stroke, keeps the putter head very low.
5th birdie of the day for Lydia Ko, and a round of 68. Not a bad debut as an LPGA Tour member. Choi at 16.
Not the easiest pitch shot here. Certainly a demanding up and down, and what makes it even a little more difficult here is the footing is a little soft. The ground underfoot is quite soaked in this area down by the lake, so easy if you catch this one just a little steeply to look a little foolish. Clipped it nicely though.
Trying to land it at the base of that hill and let it release up.
Not bad, but that's an uncomfortable length to try and stay in this.
Stacy Lewis ranked 3rd in the world. Brand new season, brand new points race added to the LPGA Tour. The race to the CME Globe, a season-long race for a $1 million bonus. We asked players about this new initiative.
Well, I'm really excited. I think anytime someone throws a big $1 million opportunity at you, it gets your attention. And I think the biggest thing, it's going to give, you know, the media and the fans something to talk about all year.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be nervous. Saying I won't be nervous, it will be a huge lie. Yeah, you know, I'll be super excited if I was in that position, but yeah, just one sip at a time, and it seems quite distant as this is, I guess, the only first tournament right here, and yeah, it's exciting.
I'm not going to change my game for it, but I think it's just such a great start and such a great move for women's golf. You know, the men had the FedEx Cup and the race to Dubai, and for us to finally have something to play for like that is just very, very encouraging and exciting.
You know, I felt like this tour and these women out here have deserved to play for that for a long time. So I don't think players are going to feel like it's any different. You're still trying to win. For me personally, I want the trophy. The money is a nice thing to have at the end, but I would think players would say they're playing for the trophy. And I think we've deserved that money for a long time.
The race to the CME Globe starting on Paradise Island. Jessica Korda would like to get the 500 points on offer this week. Give herself a birdie chance. So who's it going to be? Who will win the first 72-hole Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic? We'll find out here on Golf Channel.
Amelia's caddy is her younger brother, Chris.
So there's 4 sister brothers that I can think of. Langs, the brother sisters. Langs.
Pornanong.
Oh, that's 5. Ernsts, Ikis, Langs, Lewises, Pornanongs.
Phatlum.
Yes, Netgear.
Porns.
Pornpongs.
Pornanong,
Oh, yeah.
Pornaspongs. Anybody
Oh,
else?
look at that's a cool shot. Another one bites the dust.
I think Korda makes birdie.
Another one bites the dust.
They're going to finish early, aren't they?
Not really.
Bite your
It kind of. Yeah, I could talk about it.
No.
Alrighty.
The tournament is in Stacy
How
Lewis's
far did
hands.
she miss that on the low side?
Should have walked over to the sports book and put a little.
They weren't taking bets. You couldn't bet on the LPGA.
Why?
They didn't have any odds. The person at the desk said they don't gamble on events on property, which I don't know if that's true, or whether they just couldn't be bothered to get odds together.
Same in Vegas.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, I knew that about Vegas.
Well, it's probably a law then.
But in England, you can.
You can, yes.
You can bet on your golf.
England's corrupt.
Na Yun Choi to save par at the 16th and remain 1 back.
This putt should move down to her left just a little bit. Oh, never got that high enough.
Had a wayward drive, went left off the tee. Didn't have much of a chance.
And that putter's sitting really nicely. Kind of lifts it up. It gets high for such a short putt, and then she hits it well at the equator or above, and I just don't think you can see it bobbling a little bit. Not a real good square true contact. That was a great shot.
Second bogey of the day comes at an inopportune time for Na Yun Choi. Had a bogey at 13, now a bogey at 16. She's 2 back.
The 18th is a very birdieable hole, but it's a big ask to get a birdie at 17.
Jessica Korda has a chance here, Kay.
Eyeing this one up. She desperately wants to make it. It's a great opportunity. It's not going to be too slow because she's on a little bit of a rise on the right-hand side of the green, but it should break a little bit to her left. It's only about, I want to say, 10 foot or so. She's been rolling her putts really well today. And that two putt she made on the last hole from miles away ought to give her some confidence here.
Yeah, the grain is coming a little bit towards her, and the slope is a little bit right to left. And it's just, you know, is she going to play this a little delicate, or is she going to hit it firmly? Pretty firm.
And it was right in the middle. Jessica Korda moves to 18 under par. She's tied for the lead. Stacy Lewis standing on the 18th tee, waiting and watching, and she knows that it is game on.
What a great two. That 17th has not given up a ton of birdies.
But now they're going to have to wait, because there's two groups waiting on the 18th once Creamer knocks this one in. So that'll make things even more interesting, get the nerves jangling.
Tom, just 7 birdies here today.
Well, Paula Creamer, I think Karen will be disappointed that she didn't give it a better run.
Do you think that double bogey on 9 really hurt her? Other than that, she's played pretty solidly from what I've seen on this side.
She definitely is a fighter. And Karen, she's got to be annoyed that she hasn't won for the last 3 years.
It has to be playing on her mind, and she knows it. And that could be why she kind of pushed a bit today, maybe.
Well done. And she was only one back to start the weekend. She was one behind Jessica Korda through 36 holes. Now finds herself 3 back as they head to the 18th, and Stacy Lewis waiting on the 18th tee. Bit of a backup because the 18th is reachable.
You saw Stacy give a very subtle glance to the left when Korda made that putt at 17.
I wonder if there's going to be any pleasantries when it looks like they're not going to stand on the tee there. They might just stand behind.
Quite a long wait here on 18. Lewis is waiting for the fairway to clear at this, as Tom points out, it's a reachable par 5. Began the day 4 shots off the lead. This was her second at number 6, the par 4.
We knew it was going to be a day, again, with perfect conditions where players are going to fire at the flagstick, and she is one of the best iron players out here.
She birdied 1, birdied 2, birdies at 4 and 6. Now at the 7th, the par 5.
Yeah, the hole's located towards the front part of the screen. And she's definitely a player that's comfortable with going low. 63 has been her career low. She shot it a couple of times.
She made a birdie at 7 after 2 putts. Then her second at the short par 4 8th.
Just look at the precision with which she hits those wedges. And that's a kick in. Doesn't even have to think about it.
6 birdies in her first 8 holes today. She made bogey at 9, par 10, her third to the 11th. Would make that to get to 17 under, and then at 14.
Hole is located up on the far right-hand side of the screen today, and again, a gimme for birdie. She cooled off a little bit the last 3 holes.
Well, she only made a par at 15, which no doubt she'll be looking at when all is said and done. She's hit 16 of 17 greens in regulation today. And Korda is an interested spectator at the 18th tee.
Well, and let's take a look at how they both have played this hole. Stacy Lewis has only birdied this hole once. Jessica Korda is 4 under collectively on this hole. She eagled it yesterday, birdied it each of the first 2 days.
Eagled it with a 5-iron.
Yes.
Yesterday.
So they're playing this hole in a sense for the tournament, and then they will play it again if there's a tie. It'll be the playoff hole.
Nyan Choi 2 behind. You've got to think she needs to go birdie, birdie, maybe even birdie eagle.
In her head, I think she knows she needs to make birdie here because Jessica and or Stacy are more than likely going to birdie 18. That, her 5 hybrid, just right of the hole.
She's giving herself a chance, Jerry.
Okay, man.
Lizette Salas had a good tee shot there. Up to 18.
Pornanong Phatlum, this for birdie.
player that's really moving up in the world rankings. Won in Dubai at the end of last year. And who did she beat? Stacy Lewis.
67 in the final round, Kay.
Yeah, that's a great score. This is tough right now to have to sort of cool your momentum. No one likes to sit and wait to hit a very important tee shot.
We're told that Lewis's group, which is the third to last group on the golf course, has waited now 13 minutes at the tee at 18. Jenny Sue waiting for the green to clear at 18.
28-year-old from Fairfax, Virginia, lives in Palm Beach Gardens area. Monday qualified with a 68 and having a very good week. She's never had a top 10 finish on the tour. In fact, I think her best finish was tied for 17th a couple years ago at the Sybase match play.
She's tied for 16th right now. She's even on the day. 3 bogeys, 3 birdies. And now, finally, the group of Lewis and Lewis.
And that's her brother, Chris, on the bag, 21 years old.
Amelia will play first.
Yeah, she has the honor after a really nice birdie back at the 16th hole.
Bill, this is her 4th year on the LPGA Tour. And last year, she only made 4 cuts out of 13 events she played. So maybe this is the start of some bright things for Amelia.
Yeah, she's played nicely. Just 1 or 2 mistakes that have cost her. Nothing to do with the golf. It was just mental mistakes.
She goes after it strongly.
Yeah, no, she's hit it nicely. That's a really good tee shot there.
Well, that's a good visual for Stacy.
You like that try?
Yeah, the edge of the bunker, like finish on the red pine.
She's just going to try to duplicate what Amelia just did, right, Phil?
Yeah, if you want to win tournaments, there's always a time where you've just got to pull off the really good shots. She had a great tee shot on 16 where the wind was off the left, water to the right. That's exactly the same situation. The closer to the water, the easier the second shot and the shorter. There, she's nailed it down that right side. Great tee shot.
Boy, and that bounce past Amelia's by about 10 yards, 15 yards.
Let's call it 20. Getting further. Now, clutch tee shot on 18 from Stacy Lewis. She's tied for the lead.
Back at the 17th hole, Na Yeon Choi has to make this putt if she wants any chance to win, Jerry.
Absolutely, turning gently left the entire way.
Good tempo.
And, oh, so close.
Oh, robbed. Wow, that looked really nice.
At the 18th, Jenny Su, the Monday qualifier, with her third. Well played.
Her boyfriend, fiance on the bag, she was the first female to win the state championship, the high school state championship in Virginia. Beat all the boys, including her fiance.
While Korda and Creamer wait on the tee at the 18th.
Like putting a little raisin box. So Johnny was taking a couple of cupcakes yesterday or 2 days ago. And he took one.
Let's see who's up to the challenge presented by Prudential. Korda is looking for her second win on the LPGA Tour. This was her third at the par 5 fourth.
Like we've been saying all day, players have to take advantage of those short irons.
She would make birdie there, and then her second at the 9th.
Just taking dead aim at this left hole location, hazard to the left. Doesn't bother her. Stuffs it in to about 5-6 feet.
Made a birdie there as well. Now for a birdie at 10. Taking advantage of her length off the tee, 8 under on the par 4s this week and 8 under on the par 5s as well.
And this really shows the control of her game she has. That little touch feel shot from 25 yards away, nips it in there beautifully.
She's 2 under on the par 3s this week, but no putt was bigger than that one. That was the putt moments ago at 17 that tied her for the lead, with Stacy Lewis watching from over on 18T. Got her to 18 under par. Up to the challenge, presented by Prudential.
It's like a couple of Solheim Cup teammates are going to be going head-to-head down the stretch here for this trophy.
So Lewis safely in the fairway at the 18th. Korda waiting on the tee. Na Yeon Choi just had a birdie putt on 17 that rimmed out. You see those low scores earlier today. Buljan, Gal, and Pressel all with 66s. That's 7 under par on this par 73 layout. Back out to the 18th.
Giants had the same exact one.
No, just a good solid one.
And just starting it, just left it up pure silk and then letting it.
Yeah, right on the.
Letting it fall over.
Like the P, the pure silk, and letting it finish right between the two logos.
Okay.
Yep.
204 yards remaining for Stacy. Wind's helping slightly off the left. Gives a chance to get close to this hole position. Feed it in from that side.
Yeah, coming in with this distance, Phil, she's probably just going to try to land it about 7 paces on the green and let it release.
Now it's like a 4-iron. Fairly low.
Set.
Oh, that's going to be a kind of a challenging little chip shot. Not much green to work with. It's going to be fast from that side. That is not a guaranteed up and down.
Maybe a little pumped up.
Maybe, and just tugged it ever so slightly, and that gave the extra distance.
So Korda has had to wait quite some time since that clutch birdie at 17. She sees now what Stacy has done.
Keeping herself fairly loose though. Good chats with Paula, they're good friends, so she should be fairly comfortable. But this is quite a tough drive, I believe, for Jessica here. You see the water on the right and there's bunkers left. It's a really nervy time right now.
Stop.
That's a little to the safer side of the fairway. Well, in some ways it's a better angle with that back right hole location being more on the left-hand side.
Let's go back to yesterday. 195 yards out for her second shot, playing with Paula Creamer. They played together all 4 days now.
Paula had already put it up there close. This was a 5-iron.
She would say later that she didn't really get a good look at Paula's second shot, but she knew it was close because she heard the crowd and decided, I want some of that. And she got it. Hers was a tap in. In fact, she played first.
Great way to end the day and a great way to bounce back after shanking one out of bounds on the 13th. She collected herself and finished strongly.
Creamer made her eagle as well. They played the hole collectively in 6 strokes.
Nice.
Lewis's last victory, of course, the Rico Women's British Open last year.
Her second major.
2011 Kraft Nabisco was her first. Korda's got a chance to move up this list as well. The current Rolex rankings. Inbee Park is not here this week. Suzanne Pettersson had a bit of a shoulder issue, also did not play this week. Korda 40th in the world. She's looking to move up. Lydia Ko, 16 years of age, already 4th in the Rolex rankings. Who will it be? We're coming down to the wire here. Final day of the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. Thank you.
The nearest point. That ball's in the way.
That's Stacy's only playoff. Interesting. Stacy Lewis, Jessica Korda, both playing the 18th at the Ocean Club Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. They're tied at 18 under. Korda is waiting in the fairway. Stacy Lewis went forward in 2, flew it a little bit long, had a 4-iron, just over 200.
And this is not an ideal lie. She's going to try and land it on the green. No, there's too much grass there. I thought she might play it off her back foot and just accept hitting it low, get a good contact, land it short of the green and chase it on. She went for the more difficult shot.
She did the bump and run a couple days ago successfully. So she tried to hit a little mini flop shot here, right, Phil?
Well, she tried to get a good contact and there was grass behind the ball. You know, given the height and trying to land it onto the green, she was always going to get grass between the ball and the club face.
Really had a narrow stance to keep her lower body still. Here's the slow motion look. Boy, it's just a fraction of an inch, the difference in the contact, and getting that from 12 feet, 15 feet to 3 feet. I knew that was going to be a tough one to get up and down.
Well, you know, she went for the more difficult shot, so you've got to give her credit for that. It would have been really easy playing off the back foot, hitting it low into the fringe and let it release. But she tried.
Notice Korda keeping her back turned to the green.
Just kind of talking with her caddy, staying relaxed, staying in the moment.
Now she'll take a look.
Now a pretty lengthy putt for birdie.
Yeah, and another difficult thing about that chip shot, the green was sloping away from her as well, so it was demanding with that lie that she did have, and so now she's left herself a downhill putt.
For her 9th birdie today and the outright lead.
Oh. That's a hard one to swallow right there.
66, and she parred 2 of the 3 par 5s on the back 9.
Well, and again, she has not played those final 4 holes well. She played them in par today. And Korda's 2 under on those final 4 so far. Yeah. Oh, it just hit that little spike mark. Sent it. I think that might have taken a couple rolls off the ball. She was lucky she maintained a pretty good line on that putt.
Amelia Lewis to finish off with birdie.
This would be a nice finish if she rolls this one in as well. Played very solid the last 5 or 6 holes.
Lives in the Jacksonville area.
Still, this week's going to give her tremendous confidence.
Oh, definitely.
You know, because she's been competing, she's been playing some really good golf, just a few mental mistakes, but after this week, she knows that her good game does compete against the rest of them, and for a player to know that makes all the difference.
No relation between the 2 Lewises, but first time playing together.
1 under 72 for Amelia Lewis after a brilliant round of 66 yesterday. So the stage is cleared for Jessica Korda, tied for the lead after Stacy Lewis made par at the par 5 18th.
She twirled the club. Oh boy, everything's drying out so much, and if you play it at all aggressive, there's just no stopping the ball coming in with even a Jerry. What was that? Probably a 4 or 5 iron.
It was a 4 iron.
I mean, sorry, Karen.
That's okay. It was a 4 iron. She was trying to get the ball up in the air. She actually had an uphill line, and I was thinking that she thought it was going to go higher than it did, and she was just trying to land it in the upslope and bounce it to the right, but nothing killed it.
Yeah, she struck it well. Just coming in too hot.
Paula Creamer. I just needed a bigger bounce.
That one was too soft. Yeah.
Now remember, Na-Yeon Choi is watching all of this on the tee. She could eagle and tie at 18 under.
And that's certainly not out of the question. That's what's so great about this finishing hole is really anything's possible.
As Korda and Creamer make their way to the green, Choi and Salas, the final pairing of the day, make their way to the tee.
Well, they've been at the tee for a while now, as everyone has, but Breeze picking up from the left. Na Yun probably not exactly sure what's going on ahead, but judging by the lack of crowd noise, knows that she still has a fighting chance. First Lizette.
Nice shot.
Thanks.
That's up the right center from the tee line. By the time it comes to a rest, it won't be right anymore.
Now Choi.
Nice shot.
Oh yeah, right up the heart. Now give her a chance.
Well, first part of the task is accomplished. She's in the fairway. Jessica Korda behind the green at 18. Down to the wire in the Bahamas. Today's coverage is brought to you by the Islands of the Bahamas. Better in the Bahamas. Bridgestone Golf. Made in America. Played around the world. And by Prudential, official financial services provider of the LPGA. Back at the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. Good look at the clubhouse at the Ocean Club. The 18th green. Jessica Korda. Her playing competitor Paula Creamer has already played from the front of the green. Left herself more or less a tap-in for birdie. So that's a nice visual for Korda. But right now the question is, where will she take relief from the stands and the television cables?
She gets the closest point of relief, no closer to the hole, where she gets a full swing.
So we're going to have to go over there or over there.
Naya knows it's going to be several minutes before she even hits this next shot.
And it's already been several minutes back on the tee at 18. There were at one point 3 groups stacked up back there.
Actually a really tough call here as to which side she goes to. It's pretty even because she's right in the middle of the stand here. And when you're a player and you're looking at this, ultimately, you know, you've got to drop it where you've got to drop it, but there's really one side that might be easier than the other. But in this case, there isn't any. There isn't really a great spot to chip from over the back of the green here. The players would have practiced from back here, so she would know exactly what she's got to do. But it's no mean feat knowing that you've got to get up and down to win.
I wonder the way she's moving these cables. Any chance she can just putt it from here?
I think she could get a big enough backswing to putt it to get it through the grass and up onto the green. It's so tricky. There is an upslope onto the green, and then it'll slope away once it hits the green. It's incredibly tough, and you know, looking at it from my perspective, if I was playing, I would always go for try and bump it into the bank, and you know, hope I can get it somewhere within a 5-foot circle.
Well, we saw from Stacy Lewis that getting up and down from over this green is not easy when she has all these extra elements to think about. But how much room is behind that ball exactly to the... yeah, there's the putter coming out.
The trouble they seem to be having is that there's a cable that doesn't have enough slack. They're trying to put it behind the golf ball.
Well, it looks like she has plenty of room to make a proper putting stroke with the length that she needs to hit this with the proper hit.
It's about 1.5 feet, okay, is the distance that she has.
Can they just hold them up while she putts? They are. They're going to hold.
They're going to hold the cables up.
Suspend them up. I don't know that I've ever seen this. Have you?
No.
Ever seen it?
Yeah, please.
Phil's getting in on the
there
action.
You go, Phil.
Hey, Phil, do you know you're going to be called in for this maneuver?
This is crazy, Anna.
So helpful. Phil, you're so helpful.
This is the shot, though. This is the shot.
You like this play?
Yeah, because otherwise you drop it in the rough, you never know what kind of lie you're going to get.
And also, Phil, in order to find the closest point of relief, she'd be considerably further away, would she not, if she did decide to drop it?
I mean, from looking at it, you would have to worry that you would try and go for a hit, trying to get enough on the ball with such a short backswing to get it up and through.
It looks like we're going for double Dutch then, no?
Well, we saw her kind of laughing of the situation. I'm sure she's never quite experienced this, but the good thing is, you know, she's got an opportunity right here to get this up and in for the win. And worst case scenario is she doesn't, and they go back and play 18th again.
Using your favorite play, Kay, the putter.
I love it. I love it. This keeps it on the ground rolling. It's downhill. It just has to judge the speed properly. Oh, almost. She needed about 2 feet more hit through that, and that would have propelled it up to tap-in range. And she's got a shorter, perhaps a little easier putt than Stacy Lewis had.
I can honestly say that's the first time I've seen that. Stacy Lewis signing some autographs. Keeping one eye, one ear as to what's happening on 18. Na Yun Choi is still very much in the thick of it. She's in the fairway at 18. She's 2 back.
And Karen, what do you see out of this putt? There's a little point there where she could almost be kind of where it's fairly straight. A little more to her left, it might turn right to left, and a little more to her right, it would go left to right.
You're on the money there, Kay. It really looks a bit confusing to me, and I think it's one of those putts that when you stand over it, you'll feel it better than you can actually see it, because it looks like it could go either way to me.
She got it. Wow.
Her first victory on the LPGA Tour came at the Australian Women's Open in 2012. It was in a playoff with, among others, Stacy Lewis. Creamer to finish with birdie.
4 days of golf together. It's been a lot of fun for both of them. Very good friends. Solheim Cup teammates. Now, Nyan Choi still has an outside shot.
Well, it just got a lot tougher.
It did.
She thought she had to make eagle.
And that's Jessica's boyfriend, Johnny Del Prete, a very fine golfer in his own right.
And here comes the Pure Silk shaving cream bath. Well,
Which one got a golf ball and which one didn't? Here's a golf ball.
that was very sweet. Let's watch it again. This is the birdie putt at 18.
And that's getting it done down the stretch, birdieing 3 out of the last 4 holes and taking control of the finishing holes here and taking the victory out of Stacy Lewis's hands.
And that's how you play a closing stretch. She goes 4-4-2-4 to finish and shoots 66. And now the final group in the fairway. This
Paul is laughing at her.
You know, it was obviously it was a circumstance that they ended up playing all 4 days, Kay, but they really helped each other out. That was a very favorable pairing for the two of them.
Most definitely.
That was from 220 with the 3-wood. Aggressive line.
Oh. Yeah, just down into that bunker. She's a good bunker player. Good percentage chance she can get that up and in if the lie's decent.
So, Na-Yeon Choi, all she has to do now is hole out.
She has to hit a great shot and then get some incredible luck. 1 yard closer than Salas, 219 to the hole. That's a bullet at the left side of the green.
And that will secure it for Jessica Korda. The first event of the 2014 LPGA season, first of 32, goes to the young lady from Bradenton, Florida, Jessica Korda, winning for the 2nd time in her LPGA career. Our shot of the day presented by Volvic, supplied by our champion. This birdie putt moments ago on the 18th, after putting underneath the television cables from off the back of the green, takes it right out of Stacy Lewis's hands. Lewis had posted at 18 under. Korda going birdie, par, birdie, birdie to finish, shoots 66 and clip Stacy by 1. And this moment afterwards, Stacy Lewis with a little bit of a fist bump. Not going to give you a hug if that's okay with all the shaving cream.
Like wherever I touch myself, it's like.
Well, this is becoming something of a tradition here after only 2 years at this event. Oh, there's more.
A little water.
Lydia Ko, she's going to come clean her off.
Lydia Ko, 4 years younger than Jessica Korda. Pretty amazing that she could collect herself and get this win, having gone back to an old instructor and worked on a couple things in her game, and comes out on top.
Jessica Korda with the win, 19 under par, 66 in the final round, matching a 66 from Stacy Lewis. Paula Creamer with a top 3 finish, 69, playing alongside Korda all 4 days. It was not to be for Na-Yeon Choi on this day in the Bahamas. A lot of good numbers on Sunday, as we expected, Kay. The conditions were very still, the golf course pristine. Morgan Pressel, Sandra Gal Crystal Bouillon all with 66s.
And all those players moving up and collecting CME Race to the Globe points.
Christy McPherson, 69. Elena Sharp, 68 today.
Such a great advantage. And Jenny Sue, who finishes 13th, her best ever finish on the LPGA Tour, just outside of a top 10 finish, but still great playing.
Karina Ishe is celebrating her birthday today.
Happy birthday.
1 under par round of 72.
How does one say that in French? I don't know.
I took Spanish. Tiffany Joe, 73. Even par round. Back out to 18. And Lizette Salas to finish up.
Look at her grip way down all the way to the shaft for better control and really opening up that club face. That sand looks very fluffy right there.
Salas was going along nicely. She had birdies at 2 and 3, 7 and 8.
Those 3 bogeys mid-round.
She had it at 18 under at that point, then made bogey at 9, bogey at 11, bogey at 12.
Be quiet, please.
Na Yeon Choi birdied 7 and 10, costly bogeys at 13 and 16.
Such an advantage though to get your year started off well with a good finish under your belt. And I think Na Yeon Choi is a player you have to factor in on all the events, much less even the majors.
Also had a lip out at 17. She had that birdie putt that just rolled out.
Similar angle to what Lewis had. A little further away.
While we have a moment, let's join Jerry Foltz.
With Jessica Korda after her second LPGA victory. Silky smooth putting stroke, covered in pure silk right now. What were the nerves like on that last putt?
Oh, incredible. I could barely put the golf ball down, you know, line up that line, but I'm incredibly grateful and so thankful that I could do it here.
I spoke to one of your Pro-Am partners. He said, and he's played in a lot of Pro-Ams, that you played the greatest golf he had ever seen in his life on Wednesday. Did you feel this coming?
No, not really. You know, I'm really just trying to hit good golf shots and get that swing down. And I like to thank everybody that's at home, you know, Mom, Dad, Nellie, Sebby, and Grant. Thank you guys so much.
Have you ever had a situation like you had on 18 where people are holding the cable up for you?
No, that was different. There's like, you know, jump rope.
Was the second win tougher than the first in any regards?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it took a whole year. I guess I like those season openers.
What will this do for your confidence and the race for the CME Globe?
Oh, huge. You know, my confidence is definitely going to go up, but hopefully I can keep going because we've got a whole year left.
All right, I can tell it hasn't sunk in yet. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nellie is her younger sister. She made reference to in the comments there. And Grant, in this case, is Grant Price, who's the instructor she's been working with.
And her brother, Sebastian.
Nellie is 14, Sebastian's 12.
Just couldn't get anything positive down the stretch.
Played the last 4 holes once she taps this one in at 1 over today. One under for the day, a round of 72 for Na Yeon Choi.
That would have gotten her into solo third, wouldn't it? If she'd made that putt.
By the way, while we have a moment, one of the players who is not here this week, Yanni Sen, who turned 25, I believe, earlier this week, won in Taiwan. Her first victory anywhere in the last 22 months.
That had to have felt good. At home, victory, anytime you lift any kind of trophy, even though it wasn't a huge tournament, it was a win. And maybe the start of many good things on her road to come back.
Now Salas, this is for birdie out of the bunker at 18. A little confidence boost at the end of the round for Lizette Salas, who shoots 71, 16 under for the week, and that moves her into a tie for third.
It was nice what Stacy Lewis said about Lizette. She's too good to not have won. She expects her and hopes that her nerves settle down and allows her to win. Yep, Jessica's going to be signing a lot of things.
Second time in the last 3 years, Kay, that she has won the season opener, as she explained to Jerry Foltz. She won the Australian Women's Open back in 2012, and this year, the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic. Her second career LPGA win, taking it by 1 over Stacy Lewis, 2 shots over Paula Creamer, Salas, Choi, and Pornanong Phatlum. So the race to the CME Globe is officially underway, and here are the standings. Korda will take the lead after event number 1 with Stacy Lewis 200 points behind. Choi, Creamer, Phatlum, and Salas 310 points back. Golf Central coming your way tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with all the latest. For Kay Cockerell, Tom Abbott, Jerry Foltz, Phil Parkin, our producer Beth Hutter, our director John Del Vecchio, and our entire crew in the Bahamas, I'm Whit Watson. Thanks for joining us. Jessica Korda, the champion of the 2014 Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic.
This has been a presentation on the only worldwide network dedicated to the game, Golf Channel, part of NBC Sports.